So this is a Nobility 10 solid state. It's a little dirty, probably clean it up. It almost looks like the back's not made for it, like it's smaller. But I guess it has to be because it lines up, I don't know. Anyways, so the only thing I've really seen on the outside other than just being dirty, I don't know if you can see, but see if I can bring it in. Yeah, I don't think it's going to show up. The numbers are gold until you get to 16. I think it looks like it says 16.7 or something. And it's like the 6 disappeared. Almost like it oxidized or something. I don't know how that could have happened. But anyway, let's open it up. I don't see any screws. Alright. Okay, so this room I'm in, this is a safe room, like a storm safe room. And it has block walls with rebar in it. So it's probably the worst room in my house to actually try to pick up a radio station, but it's where all my stuff is. So, and it has good lighting in here, or at least it has bright lights in here. So we'll work with this for now. So let's see. Looks like we have a flathead screw right there. I guess we'll power it up and see what happens. I'm assuming it doesn't work. I'm sure I've tried it at some point. Okay, so I noticed on the last video you couldn't really see the meter. So I've got my Simpson here. Hopefully it shows up on the screen. I don't know if the light's going to wash out the screen. Right now it's pulling no current. So, well, I guess it's all the way on. So we've got nothing. Oh wait, there we go. What happened? Well, that's awesome. I wasn't expecting it to be that easy. I guess just the switch in the volume pot was not working, but it seems to be fine now because it happened right when I cut it on. I don't know what current draw should be, but I mean that's out of 100 milliamps, so it's at 1 milliamp or less. So I'm sure it's fine. It's picking up a lot of whining noises, but I think that's just because the room we're in. So let's take it into another room and see if we can pick something up. I don't even know if we can get anything in the house. That screw right there is loose. I'm going to tighten it up real quick and then we'll put it back together. And after that I guess we'll clean it up. See, that must not be the right screw. Yeah, somebody's jammed a different screw in there. Let me see if I can find something a little better. Here's a little plastite screw that I use for my projects. It's a little thinner. Looks like it might screw in. This one just wasn't going in. I mean, it was just too big of a screw. So this one's obviously too long. But let me see if it at least screws in and catches. Looks like it does. Let me see if I can cut that shorter. That'll probably be perfect. Okay, so I've just cut that down a little under 1/4 of an inch. Okay, that looks good. I guess I'll put an actual 9-volt battery. It's rechargeable. You know, these I've never really noticed before. It's only 8.4 volts, and I measured it, and it's actually only 8 volts. Says 8.4 volts. We'll see if that works fine. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, but that was easy. It was just the pot. I wonder if I should try to take the board out and see if I can put a little bit of deoxit in the pot. I wonder how easily that would come out. Try real quick. Oh yeah. Yeah, that was kind of gummy on the back anyways. Let me spray some deoxit on there. My dog's walking around the background if you're wondering what the tappy toes noise is. See if I can get some of that to go down into the pot. I don't know if there's a better way to get it in there. Anyways. Guess if I put it in the right way it'd be easier. Okay. We're back together. Yeah, alright, cool. Let's put the back on it and go somewhere else and see if we can pick up a station. I've come out here to the yard just to get away from all the noise from the house. The radio noises. It's picking up a lot of pretty strong 60 hertz home. So.
AM 830 WTRU Kernersville, Winston-Salem, Greensboro High Point, and the all-new 93.7 WKHF Lynchburg, the Truth Network. The enemy attacks on today's Dynamic Living. James Harden, 1 of 4 shooting, 5 points. The late game, 10 p.m. Eastern, will have the top seed in the West, Phoenix, hosting Dallas. 2 more games tomorrow night.
And I want to just reassure somebody that when I read the passage of scripture the other day that said all of the saints sang.
We're definitely getting some stations. Well, let's take it inside and clean it up. I'm pretty satisfied with that. Alright, so let's get this thing apart so we can clean it. I'm going to try to get the PC board separated from all the plastic pieces. Going to take our screw out that we modified earlier. That's pretty dirty. It looks like it's yellower on the outside. I don't know if you can kind of see the difference between that and that. I'm not sure if that'll clean off or if that's actual like plastic yellowing where you'd have to retrobrite it or something. If I can get the little knob off, it's pretty dirty. There's that. There's that screw. That's just sitting in there. So the last thing is this headphone jack. I don't know if I'm going to have a good way to do that. Let me see if I can find a screwdriver that'll fit. Might be unscrewed. Yeah. Okay. So I got a couple of foam pieces that aren't gonna make it, but that's pretty much falling apart anyway, so I'll see if I can find something to replace that with. Okay, so we got our plastic pieces, one more piece. I guess this knob right here. If I can get it off. Okay. Okay, so everything's apart. I am going to spray this headphone jack with a little bit of deoxit just because there is a switch in here. Where is it? Right there. That actually detects if the headphones are on and disconnects the speaker. And clean that up so that we won't have any issues with the speaker not working. So I'd probably plug a headphone in and out of that a few times and it'll be good. But other than that, I think all this is fine. There are a couple of electrolytic capacitors on here that should probably be replaced. But everything's working fine, so I'm going to leave it like it is for now. So let's take these plastic pieces, get some soap and water and clean them up. So here's a close-up on the, I guess the headphone jack. This is a little switch I'm talking about. So you see this lever right here, whenever I push it, it opens. I don't know if you can see that. So when you actually plug your headphone jack in, it pushes those two contacts apart so that it knows that the headphone's plugged in, and so this connection has to be made in order for the sound to go to the speaker. So that's why I put a little bit of deoxit on there just to clean inside that contact if there was any oxidation. Okay, so I got a little tray. Hopefully there's no holes in it. I got some warm soapy water. Just gonna pour it in here and let it soak for a little while. Should be plenty. And I've got a few brushes and a toothbrush, so after I let that soak for a few minutes, I'll scrub them down and see how clean we can get them. Okay, so I've cleaned it and it's yeah, it doesn't have the dirt in the little grooves anymore and stuff. It came pretty clean, but unfortunately the label came off. I guess the paint or whatever was on it, the ink, and I'm not really sure what to do about that. I think it's like a aluminum plate. Maybe we could take that out and I could put it back on with the laser cutter. I'm not really sure using the dry moly lube method. I've never tried it, but I think for right now I'm gonna leave that alone. I might try that later. So it's definitely yellowed, and I was going to try to retrobrite it, but now I'm a bit worried about it since the label of that came off. I don't want this paint to get messed up, so I may just leave it like it is for now. Put it back together since we do have a working radio. It's pretty yellow in there. I was thinking that was dirt, but it's not really coming out. Let me get a pick and see if I can get it. Yeah, I don't have anything that can really get in there. I do have a little razor blade knife here. I think I'm more just cutting the plastic away than cleaning it. Yeah, there just seems to be a couple spots with some pretty hard discoloring. It doesn't appear to be something on it. I don't know if it's just the plastic changing colors from oxidation or sunlight or whatever. But anyway, we have a working radio and it's clean now, so let's put it back together. I was looking at the back of this. You can see there's actually solder on there. It looks like maybe one of the tabs broke off and somebody was trying to melt it back on, but it's gone now. So the speaker was staying in there fine. I think I'm gonna get a little hot glue and use that to maybe put a dab right there just to hold the speaker and see if we can find some foam to replace the foam that used to be there, and then glue the battery label to it. But yeah, if it looks like this little cutout right here, this is actually on a separate piece of plastic. And if I push up, I don't know if you can see that corner right there is actually moving with it. So I think we could work that out if we wanted to. The only thing with using the moly lube with a laser cutter is I've just never done it before. So I have a couple stainless steel dog tags I bought a long time ago, and I bought some moly lube and just haven't got around to trying it. So we'll have to do that experiment in the future, and if it works out, maybe we can put that label back on there. If not, obviously we could maybe do a clear sticker or some ink. I've never done any of those things. So if anybody's got any suggestions on that, let me know. You can still see it though, so it still says Nobility 10 solid state. It's just not quite as clear as it used to be. So that's disappointing, but it is what it is. So I guess we should take a look at this board before we put it back together and see if there looks like there's any cracked solder joints. Looks a little iffy around this area. Yeah, there's definitely some questionable solder on there, but everything looks like it's connected. Not sure about the little guy right there. Anyway, it's working. I'm going to leave it like it is for now. The speaker. There's a piece of metal in the middle of it. Yeah, looks like it's in pretty good shape other than that hole. Might wipe it off real quick. Trying to get some of the dust off of it. Alright, let's start putting it back together. Okay, so which way does that go? I can go one of two ways. So if we had this here, goes from there to there. That doesn't make any sense. So if we go that way, actually what side's it on? It's actually on this side of it. Yeah, so it must go that way. Oh well, we'll see whenever we put it back together if that's right or not. must have got a bigger screw. Sorry, I know I'm hiding it. I don't have a good angle for you. Okay. Alright, so we got this one. It can go one of two ways. If I can get it on there. So that way, you would see the low volume. Actually, I guess that's off, that's on, and then you crank it up. So that would tell you the high volume setting, but it would be hidden for the low volume half. Then if we did it this way, it would stick out when it was off, and then when you cut it on, you only get a little bit. So that way probably doesn't make any sense. We'll do it this way. Obviously, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense anyways because it's hidden most of the time. Okay, that's together. Yeah, let's put it back together. Put it back into the case. Okay, so speaker has to go in. We know this little headphone jack has to go in. The speaker will put like that. Little headphone jack over here. We can get that nut back on it. I wonder if they originally had like a special tool for this, like a screwdriver that had a notch cut out the middle of it, or if they just had to fight it. Alright, so looking at the screwdriver a little closer, I was using the ends in pretty bad shape, so I ended up finding it's rusty, but this one has a nice edge on it, and it grabbed it a little better, so I used that. Alright, see if we can fit this PC board in here and see if our pots are all the right, or knobs are all the right way. Alright, so we get the full range on that pot, so it must be oriented correctly. The 16, yeah, the 6 is still going, so it wasn't dirty or anything. It's actually the gold ink is just not there anymore. Yeah, that looks like it's lined up. Alright, let me get the screw we modified in there. You know, you watch people on YouTube and you're like, man, they're not good at using tools, but you have to realize there's like a camera right in front of you makes it difficult, especially if you're trying to make it to where you can at least somewhat see. Probably should build some kind of a camera stand to hold the camera up over my head and out of the way. Seems to be what most people do. Alright, that's in. So, the old foam was deteriorated. So what I have, this is some, I don't know if it's anti-static foam or it's just some packing foam, but I've cut it to the same shape. And I cut it down the center to make it a little thinner. So I think what I'm going to do is just stack this in here without any glue. And see if everything closes fine. Yeah, it's going to work fine. You can see the battery's pushed up against the back of it, so that should hold it in place really good. I did just realize that we forgot to put a little hot glue on the speaker. Or I forgot to. So let's take this screw back out. Get this out of there. The screw has to actually be out of it for it to slide over to come out. Need like some needle nose pliers or something. Alright, I'll get some. Hold on. Alright. I'm just going to put a little dab of hot glue right there. I don't want to make this permanent or anything because I think we're going to go back into it later. Maybe try to fix this front plate and get some of this yellowing off. But I don't want it in there rattling around right now. So there's that. Put this back in. Put our screw. And then just gonna put a little bit of hot glue on these legs. Hold that foam in place. And put 2 little dabs. Hold the paper, and that's how it was before. You can see the glue on there. Except for that's upside down. I don't want to do that. Okay. Let that cool off and harden. Okay, back together. Does it still work? Yeah, works as good as it works in here. Alright, so it's definitely cleaner. It's obviously yellow now that we've pulled it apart, but it's pretty consistently yellow, so it doesn't look bad. I'm going to leave it like that for now. And maybe we'll revisit this in the future and try to come up with this, fix this label. If anybody's got any ideas on that, I know the laser thing's an option. Obviously I'd have to get that sheet of metal off of the plastic to do that. Of course I could dent it up and mess it up. I've seen people just replace it with like some aluminum duct tape. I'd rather not do that. I don't think that'd look as good. A clear sticker would probably be good. I mean, that's how they'd probably make it nowadays. I don't really know how to do that, but if anybody has any ideas on that, let me know. And yeah, maybe we'll revisit this in the future, retrograde it possibly, and fix the label. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Kind of surprised how easy it was to fix. There wasn't anything really wrong except for the on-off switch seemed to be oxidized, but I guess it's kind of obvious whenever you cut it on and there's 0 current, so it's got to be something like that. But everything else in it seems to be at least in pretty good shape. So anyways, thanks for watching.